I'm going to show you how to tie off when you're finished stitching. So say for example, I'm done with this project and I'm ready to tie it off. So what I would do is, there's two ways you can tie off. One is at the point at which it is your last stitch. You can just do a little across the surface, kind of like you're just skimming the surface. You can just go right by that point through the surface of your fabric. Pull your needle till it makes a loop, like so. You don't want to pull it all the way, you want to leave a loop. Then take your needle, go through your loop, and pull tight. I usually like to do that 2 times so that you have a really nice big knot. It's really strong. So in the same point you just did it, you're going to pull it through till you have your loop, then go through the loop and pull it tight. That's one way to do it. If you're doing the whip stitch like we just did, another way you can do it is do another whip stitch. Pull through till you have your loop, go through your loop, pull it super, super tight, and again, whip stitch, pull through to make your loop, go through your loop, pull it super tight. Either way, after you tie your 2 knots, go ahead and cut off. You don't want to cut it off way over here, and you don't want to accidentally cut off your project. So what you want to do is just cut your thread off as close to the project as you can without cutting your project. Okay, that's how to tie off. Now you want to tie off your project either when you're finished or when your thread starts to get short. So you don't want your thread to be too short. So I'm starting to notice my thread is not very short yet. But if I keep sewing, because I'm still sewing my project, I know it's tempting to want to just finish sewing as far as you possibly can before tying off. But you really want to leave enough thread on there so that you can tie a knot. If you don't leave enough thread on, it's really hard to tie a knot. So what I like to do is sew it, keep going until I have about twice, my thread is about twice as long as my needle, so about that long. So I can keep going a little ways longer. Keep sewing my project. Probably I should stop about there. So that's how long my thread is, about twice as long as my sewing needle. And then we'll tie it off, okay? So what you do again is go ahead and you can do your whip stitch and tie it off that way, or you can do your little across the surface stitch, pull through. Now if your thread is getting short, is pretty short, you can just go backwards through your loop, like with this end first. So you can go backwards through the loop and pull. And again, do one more tiny little stitch in the same spot, pull till you have your loop, and then you can go backwards through your loop. And then cutting it off as close to the project as you can without cutting your project. Ta-da!